going to be moving past the old therapy model of fixing muscle tone, of fixing things, of fixing movement patterns, and using connection through slow, gentle movements to access the potential of your child's brain. Muscles don't operate all by themselves in a vacuum, all by themselves. The brain actually sends the signal to the muscle to either contract or release. There's a fantastic little dance that happens. The brain sends a signal for your muscles to contract or release, depending on what movement you want to do. But what happens is when the signal from the brain to the muscle either isn't formed properly, or maybe there's a brain injury, then we see a disorganization of the movement. There's a disconnect of the movement, and that's seen as spasticity, as uncoordination, as poor balance, etc. So the root cause of spasticity isn't tight muscles. It's not defective muscles. The root cause of spasticity or low tone or a movement disorder is actually the signal the brain is sending to the muscle. So the brain is the command center of how we move through the world. And you can access the brain through slow, gentle movements to give it the missing pieces that it might be missing to create more organized movements. My own daughter was born with a rare genetic disorder, and she literally lay still for the first 6 months of her life. She missed out on all of those tiny millions and millions of little tiny random movements that you see neurotypical babies do. You watch a neurotypical baby and they're flailing their arms around, hitting the floor, hitting their face, their little legs are going. And what's happening is their brain is gathering up all that rich sensory information and organizing it into something useful. Now, my daughter missed out on at least 6 months of that quality, rich sensory information. So her brain was missing huge gaps in her learning experience. Now, the interesting thing is, despite all of that, she actually learned how to roll over, come into sitting, and she started walking around the age of 2 years old, even with these large gaps missing of her experience. So her brain was able to piece together enough information to get her to come into standing and to get her to walking. But because she was missing so much of that previous foundational rich information, she walked very uncoordinated, very balanced. She had very little options in how she moved in standing and in walking. So if there was a curb or a step or a rock to step over, she would fall. She wouldn't know how to lift her leg to get over that obstacle. She couldn't walk in certain shoes. She had to be usually barefoot or really flat shoes to walk, because her brain just didn't have the experience, all of those tiny micro movements needed to create richer, fuller options in her movement patterns. Now, the good news is that because brains can change at any time, any age, with any diagnosis, we were able to give her quality information through slow and gentle movements and watch as her coordination and her balance started to improve and increase as we filled in those gaps of sensory information that she just didn't get when she was a baby. So as she continues to grow and develop and learn, she has better balance, she has better coordination. She can now walk upstairs and downstairs and ride on a tricycle and even jump. And all of that was made possible because we were able to give her brain the quality information that was missing through slow, gentle movements. So that's what you're going to be learning all of this week, is how to fill in those missing gaps for your child and fill in the missing pieces of the sensory information that might be missing for your child. And today we're going to focus on my favorite and simplest way to do that is something called body mapping. Body mapping is simply bringing awareness to different body parts of your child. There's unlimited potential and ways that you can incorporate body mapping into your everyday life at home. As a mom, I find it the easiest to incorporate it just into our everyday activities. Anytime you physically interact with your child, you could be incorporating body mapping into your physical interaction. So let me show you. I'll grab my baby here. I'm going to put my baby over my shoulder and have her in a hug. So just by simply holding her, I can change my intention from simply holding her into getting curious about, I wonder if she knows where her hand is in space. I wonder if she knows where her elbow is in space. I wonder if she knows where her shoulder is in space. And this is a form of body mapping right here. So I'm getting curious with my touch, through my touch, and I'm feeling different body parts. Oh, there's your shoulder here. Your shoulder is snuggled right into me. Where's your elbow? Oh, there's your elbow here, right here. Let me kiss your elbow. And again, I'm bringing attention to where her own body part is, because some of our kids simply don't know where their body parts is. They haven't had the experience yet to fully map where their body parts are in space and how to move those body parts in under the field of gravity. So by you slowing down, bringing your gentle touch to their different body parts, bringing their own awareness to themselves, you're helping their brain gather in a rich source of quality information that they might be missing to create a fuller and fuller picture of themselves so they can move themselves through space. So you can get creative and have a lot of fun with this. Most kids love their parents singing to them, playing little finger games, playing little toe games. The idea is to connect to your child and bring awareness to where their bodies are in space. And you can do that through your soft touch. You can do that through words, singing songs about different body parts, which leads me into the whole magic secret sauce of this whole method is there's kind of a trick to all of this. Just by touching and moving different body parts, you can create change. You can access their brain's ability to change just through your slow, gentle touch. But remember, we're trying to access their brains to give them the quality information that they might be missing. And the most powerful way to wake up the brain is to bring their own awareness to themselves. Now, science has shown that by bringing attention to what you're doing increases brain plasticity. So people actually learn faster. They've tracked this. They've actually done scientific studies to prove that people learn faster when they're paying attention to what they're doing versus instead of having something done to them or doing a repetitive exercise that they're not paying attention to. So you can have the intention of body mapping through your touch and movement, or you can have the intention of bringing your child's own awareness to themselves through your touch and movement. So this awareness of themselves accelerates their brain plasticity and their learning and their growth. You're helping them reach their potential faster when your intention is to bring their attention to themselves. So can you feel the difference of the intention? One is doing something to the child, to your child, and the other is connecting with your child. Connection is the secret sauce to accessing your child's learning brain through connection to themselves, through connection to you, through connection to the world around them. That's when their brains will be turned on to learning. So that's your homework for today, is to pick any activity that you're already doing with your child during the day, whether it's feeding, dressing, bathing, giving them a hug, and make your goal, make your intention to bring their own awareness to themselves, to their own bodies. So that can be as simple as using your gentle touch, your gentle words, physically touching their shoulder, their elbow, their little hands, going through each hand, giving them a kiss for each finger, exploring the length of their arm, exploring how round, how wide, how thick their arm is compared to the rest of them, exploring the shape of their head, the shape of their ear. Go really slow. Think about connecting them to themselves, singing a little song as you go along, playing a little game as you go along, interacting with them, having them interact with their own body as well. So keep it super simple. Go out today, explore connecting your child to themselves, slowly, gently filling in those gaps that their brain might be missing. And we will see you tomorrow in the next video.